So I'll start with Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
because I think that would be a little bit of a surprise maybe to some people out there. Of course, he got a lot of money, over, $260 million over the next few years. So for him to say that he is a safer option, maybe doesn't have as much potential as a Kyler Murray or a Jordan Love, after last year seeing him, that way statistically was not a better year for him last year than it was the year before.
Right.
What'd you see on film from Brock Purdy that kind of changed your mind or made you feel better about it?
Yeah, well, the things you've heard me say this. He might not have ran the scheme to a T like he did the 2 years before that and been quite as perfect that way. But there was more wow and whoa and holy crap, he made something happen in backyard type of plays that opened my eyes this year. Right? So that's the big thing I saw with Brock Purdy. And to say that, too, he still ran the scheme. He doesn't have as many plays as I just said with Jordan Love, where it's like, hey, that guy's open, he's late throwing it to him, or off target with a open slot receiver. And if he
doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that nearly as much, right? Yeah. Now, Jordan Love might be able to throw a 40-yard laser down the middle of the field better and all of that too, but we know that comes up only now and then, right? It's the other plays that really make a quarterback on a consistent basis and build the game and put the game where you want it to be. And Brock Purdy still does a lot of those things really well, but just not as good as he did the 2 years before. I think there was a lot of things at play here. One, hey, the positives are he actually tinkered with his motion, and like we said, you could fix a natural thrower. You can fix their mechanics or tinker with their motions as long as they're a natural thrower, right? He did that. His arms and everything weren't nearly as floppy. The delivery was a little quicker. It was a little up here by his ear. I do think it added RPMs on the football a little bit, let alone it was a quicker release. I like that aspect of him. I do think he played less robotic in that, like, okay, wait, this guy's open, that guy's not open, let me get out, let me run, let me scramble, and I'll make a play on the run, or I'll just run for a first down and do that. You saw a nice blend of that. I saw maybe more power throws than the 2 years before that we know they went to the Super Bowl and NFC Championship game. Throws down the middle, in cuts, where you just said, damn, man, that's a nice throw right there, right? But the area where it did take a step back is running the Shanahan scheme perfectly. And I think this is where I was trying to get to when I said there was a lot of things at play here. One, right, Super Bowl hangover, losing that team was affected by that, period. I know it, right? I know them. None of them are going to admit it. But I know them, and I talked to all of them out there, and I could just tell it hovered over them. It was devastating, right? So that did it. The IU contract stuff certainly didn't help their football team. It was a distraction, period. It was annoying to everybody involved in the team, locker room, coaches, front office, whoever. So that didn't help itself out either. And I think between that and then Brock Purdy knowing this is a contract year and I got a chance to get paid, I think there was times where maybe he tried to do too much, right? That's what I would say. Or felt the burden of, like, I got to jumpstart us here. Let me get us going. We haven't had a big play. I'm going to make it happen.
If I want this money, I got to
start showing it. Everybody keeps telling me I don't do the superstar things that all the other guys do, so I need to start doing those, right? And he made comments before last year saying he wanted to make more of those type of plays, right? Also within that, sometimes when you play and you start to get good and you have those things, you overthink things, right? You overthink things. Wait, we just completed this one, the same play 7 plays ago. It's not going to be open again. These guys aren't that dumb. And then you don't give it a chance, and you go back to the sideline and you go, shit, I mean, David, it was open again.
They were that
dumb, right? And I missed it. And we got a 3-yard gain instead of a 25-yard gain. Or here's an instance that jumped out to me in my brain. I believe it was the Rams game late in the year. Right? And as I told you, I try to watch a few good, a few bad.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's the Rams game. The Rams game late in the year, he had a number of plays in that game where they ran like double slants on one side. First time he has it, inside slant's open. He doesn't throw it. He throws to the outside slant, ball batted down. I'm sure they go over to the sideline and they go, hey, your first read was open. Why the didn't you throw it? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Next time they come out, next series, I think they get a first down. A few plays go later. They call a similar thing. Mm-hmm. This time, okay, here comes the inside slant. He forces it to the inside slant. He's covered this time. The outside slant's wide open, right? Like, just read the play. Don't
Determined.
Thank you is the word I was going to say. Don't predetermine. Don't think I thought this guy would do that because he thought he was going to do that, right? That I feel like there was a little of that going on with him this year. Just putting the pressure on himself, maybe not just going with, wait, Shanahan said if this guy goes here, I throw there. If he goes there, I throw here, right? I think he just read into stuff. And you can get in your own head that way. And you can get in your own head when you start to feel comfortable and you know the offense. I honestly took a step back my year I hurt my spleen because I think I tried to go like next level, like I'm going to go to the next part of this play and show Gruden how awesome I am. And there's no way this will be open again. I just hit Joey Galway on this. And it's just like, no, I f***ed up the whole play by my stupid thoughts. Just do what you were taught. It's not that complicated. Throw to the open guy. 1, 2, 3, boom. And I think there was a little bit of that lost with him this year. And I believe I had something we have a comment because we talked about it last week. I had said it to you on the show, and then he made a comment like not long after it.
Okay, all right. Because he was asked, is there something you were trying to improve this offseason? And this is what he said.
Man, just fundamentals in general, and I know it sounds, cheesy or whatnot, but just watching the film and stuff, like my footwork and being on point and not getting too comfortable within a situation or game. I actually have gone back and watched a lot of my rookie tape, and when I first got in, how I was on it, and all I knew was what they coached me, my footwork, and where my eyes need to be. And so sort of sinking back to those fundamentals and applying that to OTAs and the field work every single day, and having that fire in me every single rep.
Man, that's a tough thing to admit and to see.
Phenomenal.
As a rookie, you want to believe that every year we get a little bit better and we learn from our previous mistakes. But he's saying, no, there's some things I was doing as a rookie that were better than things I did last year.
Yeah. Because as you get you think you go next level.
Yeah.
And then you just go, wait, why did I make this so complicated? I had all this success my rookie year. I just listened to exactly what my coach said and did exactly what he said, and it all worked out good, right? And I think when then you get comfortable with things, you can get greedy. You feel like I got to be the leader to jumpstart things like we talked about. I think all of that. I think you think about other things like, hey, my eyes are supposed to be here, but, wait, I noticed this guy was playing a little weird over here the last time we ran this play. Let me peek over there to make sure he doesn't do something weird again, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well, why? That had nothing to do with it. Just keep your eyes where you said. The guy was open. There was 2 completions over here. But instead, your mind was off on this other little tangent of oh, I think I can do this because I saw this guy do this before, right?
Trying to take the next step.
Right. It's exactly. It's like trying to do the right thing, but trying too hard, and you're actually doing the wrong thing because you're trying too hard, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's a very hard thing, and it's almost hard for me to explain it, but I've been there. And the thing I like about him, and I think what he's alluding to too, and we've talked about with other guys, he does have incredible feel and ability to see a defense and what they did wrong and go after it like right away. I mean, I've heard Kyle Shanahan tell me that right away. Like he'll tell me, he sees things sometimes. I'm like, I don't even know how the he saw that, right? So he's got that like sixth sense about him. He has a great way, and this is one of the reasons I liked his game too last year, of like he'll hang in the pocket. He does have a good feel every now and then and going like, wait, I know this is my first read and I could throw the 5-yard completion, but this coverage, like George Kittle, Shanahan's giving me alerts. Like if they do this coverage, George Kittle might be open down the middle for a 30-yard gain. And he has great feel and recognizes that stuff to go, wait, I know I should throw the 5-yard under route over here, but this is the one coverage where, it could happen. So he did better in that stuff than I would say in years before. But it's getting back to basics, right? And playing it by the book more, I think is what he's saying. And just finding that fine line of I play it by the book and, okay, the book's closed here. I got to scribble on a notebook here and make something happen. And I don't care who you are. We've heard Patrick Mahomes go through these type of issues after winning Super Bowls, right? I mean, Tom Brady's gone through those issues. Everybody goes through these little issues, and I think he'll come back this year a better quarterback.
We do have some video of Brock Purdy at OTAs, and you mentioned that he has changed his mechanics a little bit. Maybe we're able to identify it on the film here.
Right. I mean, he's tough, plays in the pocket, never makes excuses. Yes, the motion is not nearly as floppy and as long as it was early on in his career. And the other thing you're starting to see here, too, with this throwing motion, watch the right arm as it comes across his body more now, right? Back in the old days, or not the old days, but 2 years ago, most of his throws, you would have saw that right arm go down towards his crotch or his left pocket, right?
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
Now you're seeing like, wait, I got to be quicker, and if I want to drive the ball with more authority, my arm's got to go across more instead of up and down. We talk about Dak Prescott and his throwing ability. His motion's too vertical. It doesn't lend himself to driving the ball down the field. So the 49ers got their guy. They paid it. They paid him like he's their guy. They want him to be the guy. He's the leader. They believe it's the best quarterback the 49ers have had in quite some time. I could get behind all of that.
Yeah.
And now they just got to go out there and play some football, and he's got to shut people like me up.
Yeah, I mean, the weapons are going to be a little bit of a question, right? Brandon Ayuk coming back from injury.
Right.
No more Deebo Samuel.
Nope.
You got Ricky Pearsall, who I think dinged up a little bit already in OTAs. Juwan Jennings is there. So that will be a little bit of a question. What do you think? What do you think the loss of Deebo does for him?
Yeah, but Deebo was
Not Deebo.
well.
I didn't think
He
last
was not.
year. I didn't think
He
he's.
was not the same.
It's not
the
like they're
last 2
losing
years.
elite Deebo.
They're not losing elite Debo. What they're losing is just a guy that is a weapon that you got to worry about, and a guy that's like quarterbacks love because it's like, oh, wait, I could throw a screen out here and get a completion and feel good, and then he can run for 15 or 20, and I get a good stat off it. He helps your offense that way. But, no, I don't think it's a game breaker. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall's dealing with that hamstring injury. Wide receivers is definitely a question. I don't think you're wrong in saying that. And who's going to show up and be a true person they can depend on. And that's probably where I bet you early on in the year they depend on George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey more in the pass game than maybe the receivers necessarily as they kind of figure out their way in that department.
One negative about Purdy is that Pete notes here in the rundown, since 2022, he has 7 touchdown passes and an NFL high 15 interceptions when tied or trailing in the second half or overtime. His passer rating is dead last in the NFL, which is crazy for a guy who has a career passer rating of 104.9, which is the highest in NFL history.
I know.
But late in games that are close, he has not been good.
The 49ers have always kind of been a front-running team.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that to be funny or any of that. That's kind of what they are. If there was a flaw with the 49ers and the Shanahan, if I had to say the thing that the Shanahan offense, I would go, hey, friend, if there's one. The drop-back passing offense, I do think could use some new wrinkles, some new things that way, right? I don't come away with it always as wow as everything else in their offense, right?
That is most necessary when you're down late.
Exactly. And we've seen this with other quarterbacks they've had, too, that there's not necessarily been great in those departments.
Yeah.
Plus, I think when you add on this aspect, too, and we just talked about the guy. When you have a guy like Deebo Samuel who's known around football to not be able to separate versus man coverage and do that, that's not a great help, right? And then, yeah, you're a young quarterback, right, who's still learning football and adjusting to, like, their physical ability and wanting to throw the ball with a little more force and make explosive plays and not maybe perfect in that department. I think it can lead to those numbers you're talking about there. Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.